Back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And this isn't a planned live. I just was playing with my new bundle called Branching Out from Stampin' Up. And I was having so much fun. Oh, my camera's right in my, let me move this. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I just thought it was so cute. And so I got playing with it and I made this really cute shaker card. And if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know if there's an opportunity for a shaker card, I'm on it. I just love it. So I thought that I would just do a really quick impromptu card using an old technique, but turning it into a shaker card. So you can find the Branching Out in the mini September to December catalog. It's on page, I think, 50. Yeah, let me switch to my desk here and you can see it. Yeah, so it's on page 50. And so you get all of these layering dies, these frame dies, and then some greenery and some berries and a what do you call that, pine cone. And then the stamps are absolutely gorgeous. Really, really pretty. I just love them. So yeah, I just got playing with that this afternoon. I'm madly quilting. It's Christmas quilt season, so I'm quilting like a maniac, trying to get all my customers' quilts done by beginning of November so that they can get them bound and boxed and shipped if they have to. So that's kind of why you haven't seen much of me. I've been quilting like mad, but I love it, and my customers love it. So, you know, it's really kept me super busy. So why don't we get started? This isn't a really complicated card. It's just really, really cute. So what you're going to need is a card base, and I'm using garden green. And then you're also going to need a piece of pecan pie and basic white. And that's really all there is to it. Not much at all. Oh, and I need a piece of window sheet, which I had. What did I do with my window sheet? I got a piece here. We'll just use this. I think it's big enough. Yep. And I'm also going to be using the Greetings for You Mix and Match Gold Holiday Sentiments. And these are little stickers that just pop out. They're all pre-punched and they're of a heavier cardstock. They're really, really nice. And they just pop out. Let me just grab that like that. And then there's an adhesive sheet on the back that you just peel off the backing and then it becomes a sticker. So that's kind of cool. And one more thing, and I forgot to print off my my sheet, but at the end of November, I am collaborating with an American demonstrator, Verna Mullen, and we will be doing 12 gifts of Christmas over a week's time. So it'll be Monday to Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for an hour or thereabouts, probably go over a bit of an hour. But so we're going to be doing 12 projects between the two of us. And I'd really like you to hop on that if you like. You can find the details. I will post the details on YouTube in the description once I get this video done. I totally forgot to print it out. If you get my newsletter, you will have received an invitation to that. So it's $35 US or 42 Canadian to register for this. And we will have a private Facebook group, as well as you will get the tutorials, and the videos will be available to watch afterwards as well. So if you aren't subscribed to my newsletter, please do. You can check it out at crittersandink.com, which is my blog. And there is a pop-up there that will allow you to register for my newsletters. And you'll also see it on the blog if you go to crittersandink.com. So, and then when I post this, I will actually try and put a caption up here for a link to crittersandink.com. So why don't we get started? So I have a card base here. It's 8.5 by 5.5. And I've already scored it at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to fold that in half. And I'm going to grab some scrap paper, just a bit of grid paper here. And I'm going to, I've already put my stamps onto blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and take my garden green ink. And I'm taking the 3 sprigs, the larger, there's a small set and a large set. So I'm using the larger set. And I'm just going to randomly stamp these sprigs around the outside of this card. Just because when I first made the card, I thought it was a little bit bland on the outside and it kind of didn't really excite me. And then I put these little guys around it and it made a real difference. So, you know, when you're designing cards, if you do, it's amazing how long it takes you because it's trial and error. This card didn't look anything like this when I first started, to be honest with you. And I kept editing it and tweaking it, and that's what I came up with that I absolutely love. There we go. Okay, now this is going to be the front of the card, but I want the same outline on the inside of the card, so I'm going to fold it and do the same thing on the inside of the card. And you'll see why when we do the inside later. There's a cat scratching at my door, so if you hear some wild pounding on my office door here, it's either Georgie or Roxy. They get really ticked off if you leave the door closed. They don't like closed doors. Like when I go and have a shower, if I close the door, my bathroom is right near the front door of the house, and if I go in there and close the door if I'm having a shower, if I'm by myself, I just lock the door and I don't bother with closing the door. But, you know, sometimes Glenn will have some of his airplane buddies come over. So I always make sure that my bathroom door is closed, and the cats hate that. They pound on the door and they're meowing at me like, get out. You know, they're crazy. All right, so we have the front of our card done. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take a piece of the basic white and my dies from the branching out bundle. Now look at these dies. Aren't they scrumptious? Oh, I love these. So I'm going to take, let me see, I think I did the smallest. And then I did the third, I skipped one, and then I went to the third one. And then I skipped one, and then I went to the 5th one. So you can see I've done every second frame. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to move these up to the corner because I may need a piece of white later. Oh, actually I will. I will need a piece of white later. So I'm going to move these up to the top of the frame. And I'm going to lay them out evenly, and then I'm just going to put a piece of tape on them to hold them in place while I transport. Well, actually, I can grab my cutting machine. I'll just bring it over here, but I'm still going to tape them into submission here so that they aren't sliding all over the place, because I don't have a magnetic plate on my machine. So it was a dreary, icky day here today. Really cold and icky and rainy. So I basically was in the basement all day playing with paper. Well, I shouldn't say playing. I did a lot. Oh my goodness. I did a lot of organization. I needed to get organized, and I'm still doing, I'm struggling with technology as usual. It's not my forte, that's for darn sure. I've been fighting with PayPal. Not fighting with PayPal, but... Hi, Jen. Not struggling with PayPal, but it took a lot more to register with PayPal to receive the payments for the class than I anticipated. But now that I have it done, it's done. But it only took me like 3 days to figure it out. Okay, let me grab my cut and emboss machine. So when you're die cutting, you're going to use your base, which is the thick one, and your shim, which is number 2, and then 2 layers of number 3, which are your cutting plates. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on here, and then just run this through like that. Now, you know what? I think I just changed my mind. I'm going to stamp it before I cut it. I just thought of that. I'm going to stamp it before I cut it because I don't want to have shadows, white shadows, when I go to, if I stamp it and it's already layered, I'm going to have shadows and I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So let me grab my pecan pie. And I'm using the longest branch. There's 2 branches in here. So I got the long one and then the not so long one. So I'm going to use the longer one. And I'm just going to ink it up. And how am I going to do this? I'm going to do it this way, I think. And I'm just going to stamp it like, maybe like that. So that's my pecan pie. And then I'm going to take Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to clean off. I know that I didn't clean it after we did the card base. So I'm going to do the first layer in Granny Apple Green of these pine boughs or whatever they are. So let's see if I can. I'm not sure if you're supposed to like line them up. I kind of did, but it's not perfect, that's for sure. You know what? I'm just going to plop that right on there. Because there, close enough. And then I'm going to take this, there's a single pine spriggy thing. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to take the garden green and I'm going to go over each of the Granny Apple Green ones. And just, I'm going to lower it slightly so that you get both shades of green there. Isn't that pretty? I love that. So it's not precise, that's for sure. And that's okay. I can live with that. There. Oh, that's really cute. I like that. Okay. So let me just clean this up so I don't get any ink transfer on anything, because this block literally is covered in ink. Covered. I cannot believe, like, what time is it? It's 4:39 and it's almost dark out. I'm just looking out my window here and it's darn near dark. I'm like, what the heck? I do not like this time of the year. It makes me grumpy. There. Okay, so we have this now. So now I can go ahead and lay out my dies how I want them. So I think I kind of want it like this. I probably should have did this more centered, but that's all right. So I'm going to lay it out like this. I must have glue on my fingers. It's sticking to me. These are a bit bent. That's better. So if you're just joining us, please say hi and tell me where you're from. All right, so I'm going to grab my tape. Oops, got a hair on there. My tape that I had earlier. There we go. Okay. Now I can run it through without worrying about it having little blank spots where the die cuts were. So this is absolutely the way to go. Okay. All right. So there we are. Oh, I still need my cutter. I totally forgot. Okay. So that's these 3 dies. And then I'm going to take the larger die and cut out the largest one out of the pecan pie. So I've got my pecan pie here, and I've got my die. Did I use the largest one on that? Yes, I did. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop that on here. And I'm just going to run that through. I'll just come over here and run it through. Okay. Alrighty. So there we are. So how this is going to go is the first layer, the larger layer, is going to just go directly onto the pecan pie like this. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Hey Betsy, how are you? All right, so that's going to just sit right there like that. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I'm not going to glue this layer. I'm just going to pop this layer in here because I need to know where this layer is going to go, and this one is going to get glued down inside of there. So let's line these guys up. Come on. No, I shouldn't have put that one in there because now I can't get it out. Okay, here we go. All right, so that one is popped in there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of here and just lay that right in there. Like that. Beautiful. So then we can pop this guy out. Now this one is going to be the window of the shaker card. So the first thing I need to do is grab my window sheet. That's a problem with the window sheet. You put it down and then you can't find it. Come on, window sheet. Here you are. All right, so I'm going to take the same size die that I used for this one to cut out my window sheet. I think it was this one. Was that you? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my window sheet. Be right back. Oh my goodness. Sounds like bones breaking, doesn't it? Oh, Okay. So here's our little window, and it's going to sit right behind here, like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put some tear and tape on the back of here. Just a little bit. Now with the window sheet, you don't need to have adhesive the whole way around your window, because you're basically just holding it in place. But when you're putting your foam strips around the window sheet, then you absolutely want to have it edge to edge all the way around so that your little shaker elements don't escape. So I'm just putting it on, oh, maybe I'll put a little bit on the sides, just to hold it nice and firm. So my goodness, I hope, like tomorrow's Halloween, I hope the weather clears up for Halloween. Now we live in the country and we get next to no kids. The only ones that we got last year were our next door neighbors. So they popped over. They popped over before they went. The kids around here, typically the parents will take them into the town for trick-or-treating so that they can, you know, actually see some people. Because here we're not isolated by any means, but we're about 7 or 8 kilometers away from the nearest town. And so the kids typically go into town because it's pretty slim pickings around here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and line that up. Please line up. There. Okay. Look at that. Well done. Okay, now I do have a little bit of kind of extra right here. Am I going to worry about it? I'm just going to trim it off. There. So there's our window. So then this is actually going to sit right here. Okay. So the next thing I need to do is grab my foam strips, which are here somewhere. So here's one. So I'm going to flip this over. So I've got my foam strips. So they're about, oh, maybe 1/8 of an inch thick, and they're sticky on one side, and then you peel the carrier sheet off the other side. And you want to get as close to the window part as you can without actually going into the window, because you don't want them to see the shaker, or not the shaker. You want them to see the shaker bits, but you don't want them to see the foam tape through the window. So we just want to, so I'm about maybe 1/16 of an inch away from the edge of the window here. And I'm making sure that all of my little corners touch so that I don't lose any. I made a shaker card. I think it was a Halloween one. I'm not sure. It was recently anyway. And I had all my pieces touching, but when I put the top down onto the shaker things, I forgot to take the carrier sheet off one of the strips. And when I shook it, all the little bits went flying. It was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I realized that I hadn't taken the back carrier sheet off, but by then all of the little things were like everywhere. So, so yeah, pay attention to what you're doing. I wish I could be with my grandkids for Halloween. I just... They love Halloween. And my grandson, who's 4, Aiden, he he has a costume on all the time. So whether he's a superhero or this summer they came for a visit and we went to the Habitat for Humanity. And this was in August. It was like the week before school. And we went into the Habitat for Humanity looking for some tiles for our kitchen. We were trying to replace just a small portion of tile, but we couldn't find anything that matched. So we thought, well, if any place is going to have something that we can use, it'll be Habitat for Humanity. So we went in there and they had all these costumes. And so Isla found a cowgirl costume that she really liked. And Aiden found a dragon complete with wings and everything. So of course, we had to get them. And so he wore that costume for the whole rest of the week that he was here. And even like when he was playing with over on the neighbors have like a little playground build up thing in their yard, and there's Aiden in his and it's so hot outside. It was like, I don't know, 30 degrees, and he's in this big stuffed dragon costume. Oh my god. But he loves a costume. And they were supposed to do, like, the whole family went to the botanical gardens in Hamilton last weekend for their Halloween, whatever it was. And Isla was dressed as Wednesday, and Aiden was supposed to be, I think he was supposed to be Cousin It. I'm not sure. But anyway, he went as the dragon because, that wasn't enough costume for him. All right, so I'm using the gold shaker stars in here. Now in this one, I used the loose shaker elements. And it's pretty, but it's not seasonal. Like there's pink and blue and whatever in there, but it's what I had on my desk when I was just trying the design, and that's what ended up in there. So, but that's okay. But this time I'm using the gold and the gold stars. I love these, and I use them for embellishments too. I don't just use them for for shaker cards. I use them for everything. All right, so that's done. So let's take off our carrier sheet here. Carrier strips, whatever they are. So I would love to go trick-or-treating, and Emily, my daughter, their neighborhood is fantastic. And all the dads get together and they all go so there's a whole posse of them. All the kids and all the dads go trick-or-treating. And I think Alex is going to dress up. I think he did last year. And they just have such a good time. And this neighborhood is fantastic. They do so much together with the kids. There's tons of kids in that neighborhood, and all the parents are always having barbecues and street dances, and it's a great, great neighborhood. All right, so I'm just placing that right on there. And I'm going to press it down so that I seal everything really well. Oh, Betsy, I wish I could. Oh, I can't. I've got customers picking quilts up on the weekend, darn it. I would love to. Wouldn't that be a great surprise? Betsy lives near my children. There, so there's the front of that. Isn't that cute? Oh, love it. Okay, so the next thing I did was I already pre-cut some of these little pine cones. And so there's one little pine cone die. So I cut out a few of them. And I guess, you know what? I'm going to pop this on my card first before I do anything else. I'm going to go ahead and pop that on there. So let's pop this on here. And I kind of debated whether to put it up on dimensionals, but there's already dimension in this top layer, so I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it. So let me go ahead and just glue that. When I first made the card, I had this done in black, and it was kind of dismal. Like, I didn't love it. And then I thought, well, why am I not using pecan pie since I'm using pecan pie ink? Kind of a no-brainer, but anyway. This is crooked here. Let me change this. There, that's better. There. So that looks cute, isn't it? Ah, ha, ha. I love it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella. You know me, card's not finished if it doesn't have Wink of Stella on it. My thing broke here. It never pops off. Okay, I just need my little sheet here. And I'm going to put Wink of Stella on these. I always want to call them acorns, but I know they're not acorns. They're pine cones. We have a beautiful big pine tree on the side of our house, and the pine cones that we get from that thing are about the size of an apple. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I never do anything with them. I should. Actually, I'm going to my daughter's in a couple of weeks. I should bring some for the school. Put a whole bunch in a bag. I guess I should bake them first to make sure there's no greeblies in there. And bring them to the classroom so the kids can paint them. I think I'll do that. Because we have hundreds and hundreds of them. There. Ooh. I do love my Wink of Stella. I think this poor one is on its way out. It's all falling apart. But you can see the shimmer. Can you see the shimmer on that? Yeah, look at that. So pretty. All right, so next thing we need to do is figure out where we're going to put these guys. Let's see. All right. For sure. Oh, that one's upside down. Put one here and maybe one here. And one down here. What do you think? I know the reflection, my lights are very bright in here. Cute, huh? I wonder if we should wait until we put the sentiment on, maybe. So for the sentiment, I'm using the Greetings for You Gold Sentiment Collection. This ephemera pack is my favorite. I absolutely love this. And you can even color them. I just was playing around one day and I took a real red alcohol marker and it colored beautifully and you still have the gold. Isn't that cool? So let's see. On this one, I used just Season's Greetings, and then on the inside, I just stamped From Our Family to Yours. But how about, what should we put on here? Oh, thank you. Thanks, Betsy. We could do From Our House to Yours. I'm just trying to think of what sentiment we would put in there. If I put the From Our House to Yours on the outside, or we could put the From Our House to Yours on the inside, and then, let's see. Let's see. Or just Season's Greetings, why not? So, should I put it in the middle? Or over here on a dimensional? What do you think? I wouldn't even have to put it on a dimensional. So keep in mind, these are stickers. Maybe there or here in the middle. What do you think? And then we've got our little guys here. Nobody on the side down here? I think you're right. I kind of, that kind of grabbed me too when I was doing that. So let's go ahead and let's glue our little pine cones onto here. I think I checked with you, Betsy? I think you're working the week that I'm going to EMS. There. Oh, I love that. All right, so this is a sticker. So you can see the line there, sort of, where the adhesive backing comes off. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that off. Oh, I'll message you later. The one time I'm going, the one like next week, I'm only going on the weekend. It's their anniversary, and they're going into the city for a few days. So I'll be with the kids the whole time, but the following time I'm going, they'll be in school during the day, so we can probably have lunch. All right, so I'm gonna pop this right like this. There, what do you think? Isn't that cute? Oh, love it. Oh, if you can smell my house right now, my husband's making pizza, homemade pizza. Okay, so that's that part. So let's go ahead and do the inside now. So I need another piece of pecan pie. I don't think this one will be big enough, but let's have a look. What size did I use in here? Not that one. I think it was that one. Yeah, I don't think that is not going to be big enough. So let me grab another piece of pecan pie. Okay. And I'll just grab my cutter. I still haven't decided if I'm going to put From Our House to Yours in there. So I'm going to leave that out. So let me grab my machine here. All right. Come on. It's like what? Oh, going over a roadblock when you do it horizontally like that. If you can, it's always a good idea to put your dies on a bit of an angle. So then I'm going to grab the second smaller one after that for the basic white. Is that the right one? Nope. What's this one? Yeah, so I'm going to do the basic white on that size. So let me grab a piece of white. And we'll run that through. All right. Okie doke. So let me grab my paper again. And just need my branch and my pecan pie. And I'm just going to do like the top corner here a little bit. Like that. And then oh, you know what I didn't do on this one is I didn't put the second layer with the garden green. So I don't know whether I'll leave it or whether I'll put the garden green on top like I did with the outside. So I've got my granny apple green here. And I think this time I'm just going to use the individual one. So let me ink it up. Yeah, I think because I'm working in a smaller area, I don't want to have like a ton of greenery. So I think I'm just going to kind of do it this way. And then I'm going to take the garden green and just go over it a little. Might be a bit of overkill, but I do like the two-tone. So pretty. So pretty. All right. And then, so my options are, what did I do with my little, from our home to your, from our house to yours. So I could, we have Season's Greetings on the front. And then I can pop this on here, from our house to yours. That looks nice. Or I could stamp something. I could stamp from our family to yours. Why don't we just do that? So pop that back over there. And do I have that out? Yes, I do. So should I do it in the green or should I do it in the pecan pie? Let's see. Cat hair on everything. I think I'm going to do it in the pecan pie. Now this doesn't really give you a lot of place to write. This one, I did this other one was bigger. I don't know what possessed me to go smaller. Is the brown bit the same? No, see, I went smaller with the brown too, but that's okay. That's okay. I think I'm going to redo this though. Let me grab another piece of basic white. And I think I'm going to cut a bigger one of these because there's really no place to write anything. I left a lot of room on this one. So yeah, let's redo that. I'm glad I did, but I'm going to keep this because we could do that on the front somewhere on a different card. So let me see. Pecan pie. And let's see. Basic white. All right, so let's make sure I have the right dies this time. So that one's too small, so I'm going to go with the next bigger one. I think it's this one. Nope, too big. This desk, honestly, it was so nice and organized. Yeah, so this is the one that I want for the pecan pie. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I'm going to see if I can kill two birds with one stone here. So that's going to go on here. Yeah, so that's going to go on here. So that's fine. And then for the basic white, I'm just going to cut a piece. How big am I doing this? I'm doing it this big, so that's plenty. So we can go ahead and, is that the same one? Threw it over there and didn't even realize. There. So that's gonna go on here. So let me just reach behind me. I'm gonna cut these two guys out. I should close this before I get ink on something. All right. So I got my white, I got my pecan pie. All right, here we go. Very good. So I'm glad I didn't glue that other pecan pie piece in to the card prior to to me deciding that it wasn't the right size. So let's go ahead and we're going to do our branch. Let's go ahead and do that. So I think I want to do it this way. There. Get this out of here. So I've got my granny apple. Just going to clean the garden green off that. And then there, that's cute. Okay, and then I'll take my garden green and just go over that. Oof, ink. Okay, that looks nice. There we go. And then, oh, I need the pecan pie again to do the sentiment. All right. So I'm going to put that up here so that you can just write a little bit of something there. There. Beautiful. Very, very lovely. Okay, so let's put this puppy together. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this onto here. And I'm going to take, I thought I had a couple of these left, but I do have one. I thought I had two, but maybe not. So I have one. I'm just going to stick this little guy. I don't know. Maybe here. Ah, look at what I did. I need another pine cone. Come on. Okay. I thought I had another pine cone. Now, if you wanted to be really frugal, what you could have done was cut these out and then cut your pine cones out after. Oh, that's frustrating. I'm just going to quickly cut another pine cone because I got ink on my card. So when I was cutting my pine cones out earlier this afternoon, I can't even tell you how many times this little die landed on the floor, under my desk, like everywhere. Everywhere but where I needed it to be. And at one point I was on my hands and knees looking for it with a magnet, but I found it. There. So now I have to cover up my boo-boo and make sure that I don't have any more ink on me. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there. And pop this guy right there. There. Whew. Saved. Okay. So now we need our card so we can do the inside. So you can see here why I wanted to do that while I was doing the other side, right? Alrighty. Oops. All right, so there we go. So now I feel compelled to make some pine cones for this one because there's no pine cones on the inside of that one. So I will have to do that. I'll do that after dinner. There. Isn't that cute? Love it. And I do like it better with the gold stars as opposed to the multicolored shimmery business, but it's a shaker card. And I do love a shaker card. So there we go. Aren't they gorgeous? Just gorgeous. So again, that was the branching out bundle. And the dies, now that they're scattered all over my desk. The layering dies are phenomenal. Let me grab my magnet and I'll just put them back so you can see what they look like. I love layering dies. And my shape dies, like my stylish shapes, and I always forget the name of the other one that I really like. But it's got all decorative rectangles and all my old layering circles from years and years ago. I don't get rid of any of those because I really love them and I use them. Now you probably won't see me using them on here because you can't get them. And I find that so frustrating. I hope they start bringing back more layering circles and like stable dies, right? Stuff that you're going to use over and over. But look at them. They are amazing. Amazing. Love it. So they still have a die outstanding here somewhere. Well, I don't know. It's a sprig. It's around somewhere. But anyhow, so this is the bundle. I hope you enjoyed the card. My little card. Isn't that cute? I just love it. So I just want to thank you for spending time with me. Betsy, I'll be in touch. I'll let you know what dates I'm going to be there. And yeah, so everybody have a nice, wet, rainy evening. Have a lovely evening. I'm going to go up and enjoy some homemade pizza that my husband is making. So have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. And I will post all the information for my upcoming 12 Gifts of Christmas class. And if you can't wait for me to post it, go ahead and look on my blog, which is critters'n'inc.com. And you'll see all the details there.